child, lean closer now, for the veil between heaven and earth is thinnest in this hour, and I, Michael, speak not alone but with a chorus of 6 others whose wings burn with the glory of the Most High, for the decree has gone forth and your miracle is already in motion. Do not doubt this sound that finds you like a whisper carried by fire. For in the first wave I draw you into the place of provision where your hands tremble because the table before you has felt bare. Yet I see the scroll of Gabriel unrolling with your name inscribed in letters of living light. And in that scroll provision is not theory but bread steaming, coins clinking, debts dissolving as if erased by a hand unseen. Yet heaven does not simply drop what you desire. It waits for you to release one small obedience, to whisper gratitude even when the cupboards still echo hollow, to stretch your hand as if the loaf is already warm against your palm, and if you dare to move that way, then you will see the promise arrive. In physical form, wages restored, favor unlocked, provision like a river breaking a dam, and Gabriel with the trumpet at his lips has already sounded it in the courts of God. The sound is traveling even now. Do you hear it? Like a low hum beneath your ribs, like a breeze brushing your cheek in a room with no window. Lean in, heaven waits. Subscribe your heart to this word and anchor here, for the sound will not pass you by. And now, carried deeper into the second wave, I show you the ache of your body where nights have been filled with pain sharp as needles or dull as an anchor. And in that ache Raphael approaches, his hands dripping oil that does not extinguish but ignites, a warmth that seeps through marrow, and he bends close to the wound, to the knot, to the hidden sickness that no one else has named, and heaven reframes what you have called incurable, what you have said is permanent. For I tell you, no scar, no diagnosis, no failing muscle is beyond the oil of Raphael. But you must stretch, you must breathe one prayer aloud tonight with honesty instead of silence. Say, heal me, even with cracked lips, and in that utterance the atmosphere will shift, and the promise will be that your sleep will no longer be war but restoration. That by morning light one pain will lift as if carried off on invisible wings, and Raphael is already here with the flask tilted, drops of oil falling into the unseen pool around your bed. Listen, it smells of frankincense and warm cedar, the air thick with a sweetness that almost makes you weep, and you know it is not imagination but visitation. And then in the third wave I walk you into the garden of your relationships where doors have been slammed, words broken, texts unanswered, and silence has bitten like frost. Yet Uriel enters with a flame that does not scorch but softens, a torch that is laid at the threshold of a heart that has grown cold toward you. And heaven reframes your grief of betrayal into a path for reconciliation. Though you must make a choice tonight, child, to send one message of blessing instead of bitterness, and in doing so you ignite the tinder Uriel has already set, and the promise is that a call will come, perhaps shaky, perhaps timid, but it will come. A voice you thought silenced forever will reach for you again, and Uriel bears witness, holding the flame like a lantern between you and them, and the glow is real. It flickers even now across your own skin as you read. Do you not feel the warmth against your chest as if a candle had been lit? Do not ignore it, I beg you, don't skip this. And then the fourth wave carries us into your calling, that question you have asked in secret when the night is longest. Am I meant for more than this? And it is Tzadkiel who steps forward with a key wrought of purest light, and he presses it into your palm though you cannot yet see its metal, and heaven reframes your confusion and your wasted years as a door not yet opened. The delay was not denial but timing, and your one instruction is simple. Speak aloud what you are willing to carry, claim with courage one dream you thought too foolish to whisper. And in that act, Zadkiel turns the key within the lock, and the promise is a sudden invitation. Yes, an actual door swinging wide in the earthly realm, a position, a platform, a chance that others said you would never receive, and Zadkiel with the key has already lodged it in the mechanism. You will hear the click within days, and the atmosphere already tastes metallic, sharp, electric, as if the air itself carried the sound of gears engaging. And the fifth wave now brings us into justice, for I see the accusations hurled against you, the unfair hand of men that pressed you down, the courtrooms of earth that did not listen. Yet here comes Rugel robed in a mantle of deep indigo, scales of balance gleaming in his grasp, and heaven reframes your despair into a case already overturned in the higher tribunal. But you must resist the temptation to curse those who cursed you, bless them instead with one whispered release, and then Rugel will tilt the scales, and the promise is vindication not months away but soon, before the turning of the season, evidence surfacing, apologies forced from reluctant lips, restoration of honor, and Rugel's scales flash like lightning in the night. The sound of them clinking is like metal striking marble, echoing, and the atmosphere turns heavy yet just, as if the very room you sit in has become a courtroom where silence is holy, and the sixth wave sweeps into protection. For you have feared the shadows, the threats, the betrayals that seem to gather, yet Jophiel stands with a shield etched in gold and wings wide as a horizon. And heaven reframes your terror into an arena where you are not exposed but encircled. For though arrows may be knocked against you, none shall strike, and your instruction is this: lay your head down tonight without rehearsing the danger, and trust. For as you do, Jophiel plants the shield before your door, and the promise is safety, accidents diverted, plots uncovered before they strike. And Jophiel's shield is already glowing, a wall of molten light around your dwelling. The atmosphere thrums with security, the low hum of a fortress hidden in the unseen, and the seventh wave surges into breakthrough, where cycles of delay and disappointment have wrapped like chains, yet Haniel descends robed in silver mist, a harp across her back, and she sings over you a note that shakes the padlocks, and heaven reframes your frustration into the moment before release. You must rise tomorrow and step outside for a moment. Breathe the air as though it is your first breath, and as you do, the chains will crack. The promise is breakthrough in finances, in timing, in long-awaited answers. Doors that have refused to budge will yield, and Haniel with the song is already vibrating your atmosphere with sound waves you cannot trace but can feel, like gooseflesh racing your arms, like the sudden urge to weep though no sadness triggered it. Stay until the last word, anchor here. For the seven have not spoken idly but as one chorus, and even now the river of heaven pours through the cracks, warm, rushing, unstoppable, carrying you deeper into the miracle that is no longer a concept but a certainty. And now, child, the tide does not recede but gathers again, wave upon wave, for what was spoken in the first seven currents was only the threshold. And I, Michael, return with fire in my voice because your heart has begun to tremble between belief and disbelief. Yet this trembling is the sign that heaven's river is already at your feet, and so I draw you into another descent, the eighth wave, where provision is revisited not as bread on a table but as a storehouse bursting, and here Chamuel steps forward, gentle yet fierce, cradling in his arms sheaves of wheat shimmering with gold dust, and heaven reframes the dread you have felt when bills arrive stacked like accusations into an announcement of harvest. For though you have said, I planted little, I will reap nothing, yet Chamuel shows you a field you forgot you sowed years ago with tears, and those tears have grown roots unseen, and your instruction is this: take one coin, however small, and dedicate it tonight with gratitude, not fear, and in doing so you loose the gate of the barn, and the promise is unexpected provision, checks with your name you did not anticipate, debts forgiven by men who cannot explain why, and Chamuel's wheat already releases fragrance like honey in the air. Can you not almost taste it on your tongue, sweet and thick, as if the harvest itself were in your mouth? Lean in, heaven waits. Then the ninth wave sweeps in, carrying healing beyond the body, into the fractures of the mind where thoughts loop with torment and shadows stalk your sleep. And here Raphael again approaches, but now with a vial of clear water shimmering like liquid crystal, and he pours it upon your head, and heaven reframes the diagnosis, the trauma, the insomnia, as ground that can be washed clean, and your one step is daring. When the thought spirals tonight, speak aloud the opposite. Do not whisper agreement with darkness, but declare, I am whole. And in that declaration Raphael's water cascades like a river over you. And the promise is that a night will come soon where you awaken refreshed, no nightmares clawing at your chest, no dread in the dawn, and Raphael's presence is felt already in the air around you, cooler, fresher, as if a window had been opened in a room long shut. Then the 10th wave rises in the domain of relationships again, yet deeper still, for it is no longer about one person estranged but about generational patterns, and Metatron appears, tall and luminous, carrying a scroll sealed in 7 places, and heaven reframes the curses that have stalked your family, the divorces, the betrayals, the cycles of abandonment, as merely seals waiting to be broken, and the instruction is stark. Write one name of your family tonight on paper and surrender it in prayer. And as you do, Metatron presses his finger to one of the seals, and the promise is that reconciliation will not only touch you but echo backward and forward, children healed, parents softened, a bloodline washed, and the scroll itself glows even now, I tell you, its edges radiating as though fire lived inside parchment, and the atmosphere thickens with reverence, as though you sit in a library of heaven. The 11th wave now courses into your calling again, but with greater urgency, and here Gabriel himself stands with a trumpet not at rest but lifted, breath filling the bronze. And heaven reframes the silence of opportunity you have endured, those years you felt hidden, overlooked, as the pause before the announcement, and your instruction is simple yet daring. Speak aloud to yourself, I am chosen. And in that breath you align with Gabriel's sound, and the promise is that an announcement in your earthly sphere will soon make your name echo where it has never been spoken. And Gabriel's trumpet is already vibrating, a low hum you may feel beneath your sternum now, the kind of vibration that rattles glass but here rattles chains. Do you sense it? The atmosphere is alive, resonant, pulsing with music unplayed, and then the 12th wave surges in justice again, but not in courtrooms, rather in secret dealings where slander and envy plotted against you, and Raguel once more appears, scales brighter, heavier, and heaven reframes the whispers against you not as final verdicts but as evidence stored to shame the liar, and your instruction is quiet. Do not defend yourself this week when false words fly. Hold your tongue and watch, for Raguel will tilt the scales in front of them, and the promise is startling, their plans will backfire publicly, and honor will return to your name in ways you did not orchestrate, and already you may feel the air dense, as if the room itself had been sealed for judgment, the hush of a divine courtroom where no voice dares to rise but truth, and the 13th wave rushes into protection again. And this time the threat is not merely shadows but near collisions, near losses, the almost accidents that haunt you. Yet Sandalphon strides forth, towering, carrying a harp larger than a man, and he strums a chord that bends reality, and heaven reframes your near misses as songs of intervention, for unseen notes already altered what could have been tragedy, and your one action is this. Tonight, thank God for one danger you escaped, and in that gratitude Sandalphon will weave another chord. And the promise is that a disaster scheduled against you will dissolve before it arrives, and Sandalphon's strings hum even now in the air. You may almost hear a resonance in your ear as though music played just outside the threshold. Stay until the last word, and then the 14th wave arrives, this time as breakthrough not in one domain but in all, and Haniel again appears, silver mist swirling, harp across her back, but now her voice alone thunders, singing notes that sound like thunder yet soothe like lullabies, and heaven reframes every locked door as tinder set for flame, and your one step is this: rise tomorrow and take one bold action you delayed, send the application, make the call, step onto the street you feared, and the promise is acceleration. No more waiting years but days, sometimes hours, for the shift, and Haniel's song wraps you even now. You may feel it in gooseflesh, in sudden tears that come without reason, in the warmth climbing your spine, and the atmosphere around you has become charged, shimmering, as if unseen hands were brushing your shoulders with light. Child, hear me. The waves do not end but crescendo. And now I speak rapidly, urgently as fire closes in, for heaven's decree is near its release. The river is rising. The scroll is unsealed. The trumpet is lifted. The oil is poured. The key turns. The door swings. The harvest glows. The shield surrounds. The chains break. The miracle breathes. A message, a call, an unlocked door, before the day ends. I beg you, don't skip this. Share this word with another soul who needs it, and subscribe to the Archangel Inspire channel. For the 7 do not whisper lightly, they roar together, and this moment is your visitation.